How are you doing, everybody? My name is Alejandro, also known as the Aguacate. Welcome to a new episode of Como en Realidad es. The translation is How in Reality is. Today, I have two wonderful guests who are going to be telling and sharing their story. If you guys can introduce yourselves a little.
Uh, Hi, I'm Matt. I do data science. That's pretty much my shtick.
Hey, my name is NYC, MrEliRooney, and I make videos with holograms now.
Wonderful. This guy, he not just do that. He's also part. They both are part of a wonderful event that I went a couple of weeks ago. That was related to social media creators, YouTubers, influencers, Instagrammers. It was in the space that it was created to meet each other. It was like a meet and greet, something where people they can collab, which we're doing right now, And it was a wonderful experience. And what I wanted to is like to share their stories, how they start, what are they doing in terms of content creation, and to invite people because I think it's a wonderful experience. I really enjoyed myself there. That 2 hours, I think it was the event, and it was amazing. There was a lot of like different people doing different stuff. There was musicians. There was people who were related to food. There was a guy who did like weird videos, but he was planning to go to all the bureaus and ask people like what their things were about the bureaus. Like there was like people who were doing like a lot of good stuff there. So I just wanted to kind of share this so people they don't feel like they are alone whenever in terms of like collaborating with others, because I feel as a content creator myself is one of the toughest parts ever. Just try to get it to people to talk to you and like try to share like the daily basis of editing or like getting to create an idea. Like not a lot of people they understand. And as I was talking like a couple of weeks ago with a friend is like who also do content creation, it's like sometimes people who are not in this world they think that it's too easy and like it's something that is not that requires a lot of time and a lot of planification. And to be honest, it's on a stereotype that little by little I think is killing it. But because it's so popularized and everybody doing it, it doesn't that doesn't mean that it's easy to do it. So yeah, I just wanted to ask a little questions about you guys. How do you start into this environment of content creation? Why did you do it? What was your beginning? Like what got you inspired to just take the leap of it?
Do you want to start?
No, we're going left to right.
Okay.
We're going left to right.
Going counterclockwise. Geez, I don't even know where do I begin. My story with content creation, it's never like my stories with things are never really clean. I mean, life's kind of like that. I kind of just take life as it comes, just one step at a time.
Yeah.
And it's really just kind of like happenstance, trying to find kind of like the right opportunities. Like, hey, look, this content creation thing, this looks kind of neat. So if you were to ask me like what type of channel I do, I couldn't really tell you. Or I could tell you that's going to be one thing. Like, well, it was definitely one thing last year, like maybe like some Smash Brothers stuff, and then it all of a sudden switched. Not because I wanted it to, but it just kind of happened to. It's like, oh hey, I do Godzilla stuff now. That's neat. and yeah, no, I mean, you don't to check out the channel or whatever. But yeah, there's
all the social media is gonna be involved with you guys.
Yeah.
Small clips on your channels and everything is gonna be published and shared.
Okay. So my story with content, like my personal relationship with content, has never really been linear. But I think so. If I could kind of boil it down to like, what was the decision to like, oh yeah, I should definitely do this. So it's going a little bit off track, but like with the Smash Brothers game, there was this release of a very popular character. Anybody who knows games, it's Sora from Kingdom Hearts, that type of thing. But it was like basically like the most popular possible character that they could put into that game, aside from maybe like Steve from Minecraft, and which he was in. Like
it was there.
I know. So it's like who was the more popular request? Was it Steve? Was it Sora? I don't know. It was like one, but anyway, Sora dropped. I'm like, if there's any time I'm gonna at least try content to see if it's like something that could work for me, this was the time to do it. And lo and behold, it was kind of a success. I mean, I dropped a couple of videos and it was like a couple thousand views here, like tens of thousands here, and some other stuff. So it's like little successes with that type of thing. It's like, oh, hey, you know what? With having like some minimal experience with like editing and stuff like that, and obviously like game knowledge, I was like, hey, look, this can work. Let me just try it. And then I just kept kind of plugging away at it, so figuring out like the editing tools. Like, well, in my case, I use Final Cut Pro. I know a lot of people use Adobe. Some people use like DaVinci. I just decided to stick with the tools that I have and just keep learning stuff. Like learn more about the game, learn more about the editing tools. It's also the format, like what type of format that I want, et cetera, et cetera. And it's a very iterative process, as you can imagine. At least it was for me. And kind of the thing, like with like being in New York, I was like, this isn't really something that people should do alone, right? It's hard, and there's definitely like a couple of groups like around in the lake, and there have been, but not really like a lot, right? So, which always kind of surprised me because like a big city like New York, for instance, it where content creation is
super big.
It's huge, yeah, and it seemed odd that there weren't as many groups, or they weren't very well like advertised. Like I seen one that's maybe on like has a little bit of like a presence on Instagram, for instance, or maybe through like email newsletters or something like that.
Usually those ones, at least the ones that I have seen, usually they tend to cost. And
Exactly.
They somehow promote it as a place where you can learn some skills to become a successful influencer or something like that. It's not like meeting people, actually.
And in addition to all the other things that you have to pay for in the grind of being a content creator, it's like, oh, hey, look, here's another paywall.
Exactly.
And that's
no reason.
Yeah. So Meetup just made sense, and we ended up meeting at another meetup, and then just decided to just form one ourselves.
Was it hard to do it?
It wasn't. We actually got a little bit lucky, and basically, so there was a meetup that already existed, but then the previous creator, for reasons I didn't really go into it with the creator, but like typically, like when you're on Meetup, basically what happens is when so I was a member of that meetup. And then when the organizer leaves, like everybody in the meetup gets a notification saying, "Hey, the organizer, there's an opening." Well, two things: one, there's an opening, and two, you have X number of days. I forget if it's either 90 days or a month. I can't remember, but you have X number of days to become an organizer. Just nominate yourself as an organizer, or everything about the group's going to go away. Yeah. So like not just like the group itself, but just like all the data and everything that was associated with that group. It's all just going to be snapped out of existence, basically. So I was like, the group disappeared. Well, the group almost disappeared. And I remember just like going for like a run, like 1 week, and then the run, like, just on my runs, I'm just like, you know what?
Maybe I should do it.
Maybe I should. It's like, it feels like a lot of responsibility, but like also this speaks to me because I feel like people really shouldn't be alone in this process. Like we need a space in order to be able to congregate and talk about content and exactly. And I was like, should I do it? And then I think it got to like the last week, maybe like 7 days. I was like, you know what, heck with it. I'm clicking the button. And that's my end of it. And then like we end up having our first meetup at a bar. The brain trust. And that's kind of how the new iteration of the group was born. It's been over a year now.
It's been like a year and a half.
Yeah.
Wait, I know that I'm so interested in this story, but before we jump into the acknowledgement of how the group got created, I wanna hear from you, brother. How did you start? Because he does. I'm a big fan of your fucking edits, and they are sweet. Like they are delicious, like to admire, and he does a great job. I'm gonna put like a small clip of his recent post that you got. Like I think it was this week that you did it, and it was very solid and very like CGI science fiction like movie things, and it's actually pretty lit. So congratulations for that.
Thank you, I appreciate it. Do I tell my life story now?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, you love story about how did you start? How do you start with this? Like, why did you got into content creation after all the things, careers that they are there?
Alejandro, I want the money in the clothes, the cars, the girls. I'm playing. ever since I was young, I was a very creative person. Like I like to draw and paint and do all these other creative things. So I consider myself an artist. You
Okay.
know, a lot of people see all the sci-fi things and think I'm a scientist, but I consider more of myself as an artiste. But the thing about being an artist is that you need to be known for something in order to become rich and famous. But I want to be able to do whatever I want. You know what I'm talking about? Like whether I want to draw one day or maybe play an instrument another day. Like I want to be able to just do it all and be known for that. Um, and also growing up, I like to tell stories. So like it'd be like the most absurd stories. Like I would go to my grandmother and my dad and be like, "Yo, this happened and this happened." They'd be like, "Yo, shut up!" Like that didn't happen. But like I enjoy telling stories. And last but not least, like I want to say like late kid, early teenagers. I started watching more YouTube videos. So I like to watch a lot of like skits, a lot of stories, and this, that, and the third, and they made me laugh. So like growing up, you know, improve my art skills, this, that, and the third. When I was about like 18ish, I was like, yo, let me start my own YouTube channel. You know, I'll do it just like all the other guys making these silly stories, not like VFX intensive, but just like stories, and it's gonna be funny and it's gonna be. So I asked people for help. You know, like, bro, you want to be in my video?
It's tough.
It's
It's
tough.
super
It's
tough.
bro.
You don't have
Like,
any idea. I'm sorry, I'm
no,
gonna
you're
make
fine.
a
You're
small
fine.
parenthesis there. But the fact of, I don't know if you have seen most of my posts of podcasts that I do, but every episode, like I try to bring a new like person to tell the story about their lives and stuff, right? But it's just like putting another person or a group of people together nowadays is so hard
So
because people they don't want to, or either they're gonna ask you for some money to do it, or they're not gonna be willing to, or the content that they got there suck or something like that, you know.
or
So
they're just like genuinely busy. Like I was gonna get into that, how like
yeah,
my
yeah.
friends made up some stories like, oh, I gotta go watch my goldfish. You know what I'm talking about? But like sometimes, you know, people are like legit just busy and consumed with their own lives. So I was like, all right, it is what it is. I dropped it for like then. Um, when I started college, when I was 18, I was an animation illustration major, but then I switched to an IT major just so I could make the money, please a parent, you know, get my life together and be secure. But when I graduated, finally got the job, and I'm like, you know, to be honest with you, I still live with my parent. You know what I'm talking about, and it's like I'm not rich. You know what I'm talking about? It's like I feel like I just like switched over from creative to like, you know, the sci-fi IT stuff for no reason because like I did it for a secure future, and now the future's uncertain. So one day when I was just scrolling on YouTube, I saw like a YouTube video that says, "Oh, learn how to do a hologram like your favorite photographer, Peter McKinnon." By the way, that's one of my favorite photographers. I'm like, "Oh, Peter just made a video. Let me check that out." But it wasn't Peter. It was some guy called Andrew James that used Peter at like for clickbait. But he taught me how to make my first hologram on After Effects. And it was like an 8-minute video, and I remember it took me like 5 or 6 hours, maybe 8 hours to actually do because you know I'm a
It's
noob.
hard.
You know
Yeah,
what I'm talking
no,
about? Like I'm a
I
noob.
haven't tried After Effects yet, but I know that's hard.
You know,
That
there's a
is,
learning curve. There's most definitely a learning curve.
yeah.
But I did a whole hologram video to promote my graphic design side business at the time, and I'm like, all right, let me just put it on Instagram. And I usually get like maybe 10, 15 likes, maybe like 30 views on a video at the time. That was the first time I got like 300 likes and 500 views, and the comments was just like, "Yo, this is the coolest thing ever!" Like I don't know what's going on, but like it's amazing. And I'm just like, wait a minute, I could pretty much express my creative imagination. I could pretty much do anything I want creatively. Um, if I could just tap my glasses and have a hologram coming out of my glasses at least once in my video. So I did that for about like a year on Instagram, just like doing cool tricks and cool edits and whatever. And then finally during the pandemic, I'm like, you know what? Let me finally go into YouTube. You know, tell stories, add some VFX. I know it's gonna be a lot of work, but once again, I like to tell stories. I like to make people laugh and you know keep people entertained. And I feel like with the VFX, it just makes me stand out from like the YouTubers that I love to watch back in the day. So I mainly do it once again, like just to express my creative freedom. I see the opportunity for it, even though it's such a lucrative and saturated marketplace. But I
Yeah,
still
it
feel like,
is.
yeah, it is. But I still feel like I could like stand out, like put in the effort. I also feel like if you give me the opportunity, if I can become famous, it'll give me an opportunity for myself, and my homies, and my family. Right? If I can become rich, you know, what I'm talking about. It'll give me the opportunities for me, my family, and my friends. So yeah, that's pretty much it.
Yeah, definitely. I have to say that most of the people nowadays they go into YouTube.
Thank you.
They go into YouTube. Definitely because it can turn out to be very lucrative, and now is not as easy as it used to be before because everybody grew up watching like their specific YouTubers, and that's been like 5 years. And then, like 5 years ago, a YouTuber over a million followers. Now they have like about 20. And they're fucking insanely rich, because they did the things on the right moment. Now it doesn't mean that we don't have the opportunity to do it. Everybody has their opportunities because our advertisement and entertainment never is gonna die. And related to visual arts, we're in the fucking future, and everything that is coming up, any technology developments is related to the eyesight. So definitely there's still a big opportunity. Saturated market it is, but it's just about doing what you love. At least that's the way that I see it. That's the way that I create my content. It's just that most of the times I receive a lot of advice saying that it's not about you, it's about like the people who are watching you. And sometimes it can be true, like you can tend to do things that maybe your community might want, but most of the times is your art, is your way of expressing yourself, is your way of telling stories, is your way of showing how your reality is, and that's why people they tend to like you or not, right? So now that we have both introductions, what happened on the first meeting of the event that happened? Like, wait, so you got into it and then you told him, hey, we should do it together, or both of you were interested in doing it?
So I
How
have.
have you guys met? First of all,
We just through meetups. I have a goldfish memory of just things generally. So the further you go back in time, the more I forget. There, yeah, there's a lot that happened. Just hanging out at the bar. Bars are just noisy too. Yeah, I don't know. Bars are they're not really a great place for a meetup. You always have to like talk over everything and be like, what? At least I'm just getting hard of hearing now, so this is like a thing. But I forget how we did. I don't know how we decided kind of the logistics of it. It's like, where are we going to have the meetup? Well, that's another thing that's about these meetups. It's hard to find in New York. New York's very pay to play. Like it's a hard place to find find the space for people to meet up. Actually, I mean, like during the summer, outdoors, like this is great. But then
once winter comes, things are cold, and then you need to go and purchase like in a space for an event and blah blah blah, and then things they can. I know that you wanted to do it free so people they can join and everybody can have their time.
Exactly.
But once
exactly.
winter comes, it's complicated to do.
Yeah. So that's always something that we've been kind of wrestling with. We found a couple of free spaces like that were indoors. And actually, I think one time we had a huge turnout. It must have been like 50 something people, which was kind of mind blowing. There was no special promotion or anything like that. Maybe it was just that like, hey, the weather's like getting a little bit chilly, and then everybody just decided to congregate on the venue just all at once. I don't know what happened that day.
50 people.
It was a pretty ridiculous number. Yeah, we have not been able to replicate that, but hoping to.
Hey, if you check us out, you know what I'm talking about. Bring your friends.
You can be person number 50.
That's the reason why we're doing this, So all the people who want to just come and meet, it's actually super fun, you're able to have new friends, you're able to talk with people who do the same thing and you get ideas. It's a wonderful space. I truly love it. It was actually one of my friends was telling me about this app, Meetup, because I'm not new in the city, but some sort of like I haven't been out into the activities of what the city provides. So she was telling me like, oh, this app is actually pretty good. I went to a couple of marketing places, and depending on what you look for, the app gives you like a little list where it's happening throughout the week.
Yeah, and that's actually something that I think we've always known has been a kind of a challenge. Is just that exposure, and not even necessarily like, hey, like come check out our meetup, like because it's not, again, we're not making any money off this, but it's just about like how do people, like individual creators who are just like out and about and around the city, or hold up in their apartment and working on editing the next video, and they're probably wondering, hey, where's a meetup, or where's like a content creator group? They have like Meetup, I guess, and then what's the other one? Luma. Luma, and that's, I mean, maybe Instagram, I guess. But getting the exposure, or being able to connect those dots, and that's the thing. I'm always like I tend to, at least me personally, I tend to get like a little bit of skills here or there in each of these different little places, and kind of like connect the dots. That's just kind of how I.
That's beautiful. Yeah, that's perfect.
Just kind of how I roll on the regular. So just so like me again, just thinking like about like algorithms and things like that and whatever. But like, how do I connect? Like, how do we connect like this meetup to the people who need to know that, hey, this meetup exists. You should come here, hang out, meet other people, like meet other creators. Yeah, that's always been hard, but I think Meetup was. I mean, that platform has been around for a while, so at least to me, that made sense like a starting point. Um, yeah, maybe we'll have like probably improve the Instagram presence a little bit. Maybe try a little bit more exposure that way. Makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, the fact that it's free also sometimes you don't get a much rewarding. Sometimes you might not get so enthusiastic of doing, but I think like what you guys doing just with the app, I think it helps you a lot because it was the first for me at least. It was the first group that it popped up in my suggestions after fucking creating my account. So that's pretty lit. That means that there's a lot of people who have been there already, who liked it, and they are suggesting to new people to do it. So that means that is a way to go. That's amazing. Proud moment.
We haven't given ourselves a moment to properly just pop off a little bit.
Course.
Yeah, that's great. It's great.
The last meeting, it was about a month ago now.
Yeah.
It was about a month. And how long ago was since the first one? A year and something, right?
Year and a half ish. What was that? November, I think.
No, we started in
October.
January.
Oh, that was January.
Yeah, we started in January.
Okay. Again, goldfish memory.
No
I started in January of. Oh, can I see the card?
Yeah.
Thank you. So, my arm's not tired no more. Appreciate it.
No problem.
We started in January of 2023. Like you said before, the meetup was hosted by somebody else. I don't know how long that was going on for, but I do remember going to. We're gonna call it that meetup just for the sake of simplicity. I went to that meetup back in like September. That was like my first ever content creator meetup. And I was like, oh yeah, it's like it's super hard to find content creating meetups here in New York City, which is like the craziest thing.
Yeah.
Here in the biggest city, one of the biggest cities on the planet. But I went to his meetup, or I went to that meetup, if that makes sense. I went there for a few months, and then me and him started or took over the meetup in January of 2023. We've been doing it for like literally. This next meetup is going to be a year and a half. So
and do you guys have a next date? When is it going to be the upcoming one?
Yeah, it's going to be June 29th.
June 29th.
Yeah, I was expected being on a Saturday, either in the middle of the month or towards the end of the month.
Yeah, and on a Saturday, most of the people they don't take to work, so it can be a good idea. I'm gonna be there, so I'm still gonna promote it into my social media. So I hope I see a lot of new people there. That's gonna be great, isn't it?
Bring your friends, tell them to bring their friends. Tell them all that.
Of course,
viral marketing.
In terms of future plans, or how do you see yourself with this project? Like, where do you guys want to go with this? Because I completely understand the fact that you wanna keep up with Meetup, but you guys perhaps wanna start doing congresses and shit like that, because it is possible, but it's just about the support that you can get from companies in the future on. Depending, I'm just throwing ideas right now to see what you guys want to do.
I was just gonna say we were literally gonna try to have this conversation, or at least I was gonna try to have this conversation. I don't know if you're prepared for that.
Am I giving you the opportunity to do it?
We're debugging live. We're just running it live, I guess.
So what do you want to do for the future?
What's your year plan? What's your 5-year plan?
No, for real, because this is something that it's been for a year now and a half, and you see that 50 people gather in just one place is one of the most important things that you guys got so far. But the people are constant. Last time it was about 20 something people that they came around too. So what are you guys looking for?
I'm gonna go on a little excursion for a bit, just for a quick second, and then we'll circle back, because it kind of the question opens up a lot of stuff, because content seems to be in a very interesting space right now. It's always evolving and changing, and I don't want to bring up the big AI elephant in the room. But it's everywhere, right? yeah, I work with this stuff on the regular, so just AI just lives in my head rent free. So like that's always like just these types of change, like sort of sea changes in content. Um, it always gets you thinking about like, well, how's the space going to change, and then in turn, like what are some things that we bring to the meetup? Like, how's that going to change some stuff that we bring to the meetup, or maybe it doesn't? Like, maybe there's some evergreen things that we keep in the meetup, such as like really, there's a lot of meet and greet in our meetup right now. Which people love and people seem to like, they come back for.
Yeah.
We have a lot of regulars who are just coming back for that and just, meeting new people or just people that they've, met at several others and, like that meet and greet that, like that tends to work. Um, we've, we've had a few conversations, I think, about trying to have like grind sessions. Also me, I've been trying to have a Discord, and they like, it's like super like a little active sometimes, and I feel really badly because like I should know how that thing works and how to like run a Discord better, but then
it takes time.
It takes time. It takes time. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Like sometimes when there's no money involved, unfortunately, sometimes you cannot put it to the side because you have another.
Yeah,
stuff.
it's about juggling the balls and just figuring out which ones and having. Well, I think the most important ball to juggle is just having like this meetup just regularly, and by regularly I think it's like something like, well, we're doing monthly right now, that like that cadence seems to work. Not to say like we couldn't try other cadences or something like that, because well sometimes we try like twice a month and then it's like it seems a little diluted, or it's like, wait, why do you have like the same, it feels like it's the same meetup but just like twice a month instead of once a month, so I'll only come to the one, or some people try coming to the two, and then it just gets a little bit diluted. But it's like, let's just have like the concentration of like people there at once. The grind session comes up every now and then. Like, let's have people just come together and just sit down and like just on their laptops and just grinding things, like either like on their laptops and grinding things out, or like an idea that I'm kind of a fan of is like, why don't people kind of just debug or workshop their ideas, like just kind of come with like a pitch and be like, hey, here's this video idea I'm working on. And then cool thing is like you're gonna get a lot of people who know content, or it's like different parts of the elephant, right? It's like they know different parts of like content and how content works. They might not be like an expert editor, or they might not be like an expert on, say, like wood cutting or something like that, but they'll be like, no matter where you are,
they will still be able to.
They'll be able to give a little bit of something, right?
Yeah. I kind of like that. Yeah, it's like whenever you are having an idea and you're doing, all the, you're putting everything into a paper, right? And suddenly you need a perspective for another person.
Exactly.
You want to give the opportunity for another person to be like not judgmental, but actually critical. Even without the lack of experience, sometimes outsiders, they can be pretty honest and actually get you to a better direction to have a good video. I completely feel you. Yeah, that sounds amazing. Yeah.
And you didn't mention the interviews yet, right?
I did not.
Okay, so if you come to the next content creator, now we have to do it, right? Okay,
yeah.
So, all right. Yes, an idea that we've been having for a hot minute, but I think it's about time that we do it, is doing interviews, where it's like, it's not like an hour interview, but just like, 5 minutes, asking you like, what's your name, what type of content you do, what inspires you, just like a whole like a 5-minute segment. Obviously, we're gonna chop it down to like a minute, maybe 45 seconds.
Yeah.
But the point is, it highlights content creators here in New York. And
that should be awesome. I'm sorry for interrupting.
You're fine.
Just in terms of like, if you want to do social media related to this event, like it would be a good opportunity to have some content to put it in to market it. Just like, let's say when was the next date? June 19th, right?
Yeah, June 29th.
June 29th. This is all the content creators that we got, and then you have lists, and then as you being the creators of the event, you're supporting them, and at the same time, they are supporting you to know them. Because even though myself, I don't consider myself like a fucking biggest YouTuber ever because I'm starting up, but I still have like 100 views, 200 views, and people who come up. You guys have more subscribers and followers than me, of course, but this is like something that we're doing together. Like, we are collaborating, so my viewers can see you and you viewers can see me. So it's like some sort of like collaboration.
And I even just like not even just like on a selfish note like that, but
Yeah.
like on a selfish note for like the content creators themselves. Um, like let's be honest, there's like a lot of like big content creators all over the world, including New York. They're not coming to our meetup. People that come into our meetup are people that are just starting or have small audiences and
Of
this that, and the third.
course. Yeah.
So it's like one of those. It's like let's go shout yeah like the future. You know what I'm talking about, like the underdog sort of thing. And it's like
We say we discovered them.
exactly, you know what I'm talking about. We put them on first. You feel me?
I know that person will do, baby, you know.
Yeah,
They do.
excuse me, you was on video 4. Like,
Yeah.
what are you talking about? But no, I think it'd be better that way because once again, it's like so many people know the Casey Neistats and the Brett Contis and all of them, but like not too many people know like the derivatives, the MrEliRooneys, the Alejandros. You know, you feel me? But I think it just would be a great opportunity just for like the small content creators just to get their foot in the door, and if anything, just practice with us because once again like we don't have like a big audience just yet. So if there's any place like you could like practice and then like start getting your name out there, like why not with us? You feel me? So.
Yeah, something that it was great that I was able to talk to one of the content creators last meeting. It was this lady who was literally just starting to quit because she quit his job. Like she was in this phase of her life where she was thinking actually to pursue being an Instagrammer full time. And she literally started to ask everybody like little tips or advices or programs or places where she can be, I started investigate how to get better with the content or everything related to how to become better, Instagram.
Yeah.
And everybody were able to help her, it's like that is beautiful because it's a community of people who are supporting each other,
Yep.
something that as human beings we look after, and sometimes we are scared because being out there in the public and releasing your first YouTube video. I don't know if you guys still remember, but I was fucking shit in my pants. Like I was literally trying to not overthink about people are gonna kill me with the critics and they're gonna start to judge me because I'm doing like something different. And the fact there are people who are doing the same or they're starting almost at the same time is like you feel like you feel like support, and it's like okay, take it easy, you're gonna be fine. If you don't have maybe 100 views or you have only 20, it is what it is. The next time you're gonna get, is that some sort of support that keeps you moving forward. And the fact that you guys are doing every month is like you refresh your batteries doing going to
Yep.
those events is like very very nice.
Yeah, and something that's always kind of stewing around in my head, at least when just thinking about um, like formats or things that we can add to the group. I'm always like just thinking about okay, kind of two sides of the coin. It's like on one hand, what are kind of the hooks that bring people in? Like what are like what motivates people like when they're making content, right? Obviously people want to grow, like, or people either want to grow or they just want to share their art, right? There's people have various
Different.
goals,
Yeah.
various goals coming into it, right? So like that's something that kind of attracted me to the idea, like this idea of the the promotion aspect of it, right? Like be just promoting their content, be like, hey, what's your channel? What are you about? Like that's there's like a little bit of promotion there, right? Like you can you can go online and Google all types of tips on like how to grow your channel. That's like one thing, but then there's another aspect. It's like, okay, well, it's like, who are you? What are you about? Make it feel like a little bit more like a personal type of thing. It's like, yeah, get to know the creator a little bit, right?
Who hasn't seen a video of how to go from 0 subscribers to about
Oh
1,000
my
subscribers?
gosh! If I see another one of those, I swear.
It's just like
all I gotta do is just post 3 times a day, every single day until I die.
it's just like
Oh, you got to do the thumbnail. You got to have the retention. You got to have the keywords. Got to have the tags. You got to not have the tags. Tags don't matter anymore.
and you have to be constant, which this is I don't know what that means to you, but that is truly the most complicated word I ever learned in any language.
It means
Like,
you got to lose your hair when you're in your 30s.
oh my
That's what it
goodness.
means.
Just being constant with, I mean, even being constant with work and everything related to life, but the fact that you're doing a personal project, meaning that it's different. When you're at work, you have the money. You're doing out of because you're gonna have some benefit out of it, and you have someone who's pushing behind you, whatever is the reason. For being constant with content creation, oh my goodness, it's so hard sometimes.
And it's a lot harder nowadays because like way back in the day, it was just YouTube. Now it's YouTube, Instagram,
Oh my
TikTok,
god.
Snapchat, Tinder.
Wait, what? Wait,
I gotta see. I gotta see.
Wait,
Tinder
content
in
is a
there.
thing? No.
Tinder content is a thing, bro. You will
Wait,
get swiped.
wait, wait.
You will
No
get swiped
way.
left if your pictures and your captions aren't good enough.
We're talking about algorithms now. Okay.
Yeah, like just in general, and it's just like
I might have gonna start doing
Yeah,
that.
it's
No,
like
no,
literally anything with an app. Like it's just like ridiculous. You gotta like put in mad effort for it. That's my point.
I mean,
And it's like-
well, I can. Oh, that's. I can go into the algorithm stuff like night and day, but.
But yeah, no, that's the
Yeah.
only reason why like it's just like a lot of work because it's like, and that's why people say like you should just stick with one thing. Like if you could just stick with just YouTube, do that. If you could just stick with just Instagram, just do that. TikTok before it gets banned, just do that. You know what I'm talking about?
What do you feel about that? To be honest, just
Yeah, it could go away. Honestly, like
I don't know.
I feel like TikTok could go away. I'm sick and tired of it.
I'd be surprised if it did. I'd be surprised if it didn't. I don't know. I'm always like on the fence about these things. I'm like,
Yeah.
they could go either way.
either way, I'm 100% sure that Elon Musk or another one of these like billionaires, super mind blowing, gonna come up in a minute after TikTok happens. You know, but
Well, let's see what happens.
the fact that they did a lot of like a lot of people start selling the fact that they opened a shop in TikTok was supporting a lot of Americans and a lot of people around the world. So kind of beneficial was the fact that they leak a lot of social security information was kind of fucked up. But who hasn't, you know? Like, come on. But anyways,
The number of data breaches that I see on the regular.
you guys see what happened with Timo? With Timu,
No, not yet.
there was they lost a lawsuit about 4 months ago. It was like $3 billion, and they were involved about more than 2 million people who they had their social security numbers, emails, bank accounts, everything linked. Like so many people, 200,000 people were cases that they lost more. Like it was values either from $1,000 to $100,000. Like there was massive leaks of information. It was nuts. It was nuts, and yet it hasn't been banned, and people still use it. Since I knew that, like I started using Timo at all because I was like, damn.
I never used it. Like at first, I felt like a fool, but right now, literally today o'clock.
Just think about it. Why would it be they be selling things for $4 or $3 when in another places they're like selling for 20? Like I understand how the market might work, but most of them. This is gossip, okay? I don't know if it's true, but they were saying that there was a way of cleaning laundry. How do you say like companies who have a lot of money? They start business like with illegal stuff. They created something to washing laundry, no washing money.
Oh, like money laundering.
Money laundering.
Okay.
I'm so sorry, my English.
Ah,
English is my
fine.
second language. Okay, I'm sorry.
Okay, bro. My Spanish sucks too.
But it's like that. Like that was the reason that Timo got created.
All right.
Sick, eh?
Yeah.
I'm so sorry that we deviate from the subject, but it was
How-
like,
That's how podcast works.
How far the rabbit hole goes
Yeah.
sometimes. Yeah.
yeah, no, just be careful. I told so many people already who bought from Timo what happened and gave them like the article and everything because it was $3 billion of losses. It was the lawsuit that they lost. That's a lot. That's a ton of shit of money, bro. That it is a lot. But yeah, to put a end into this wonderful podcast, I just wanted to give a little like space for you guys to kind of give your advices, or in the case that you know about algorithm, like something, a piece full of information that you think is gonna be worth it in terms of like, oh, I wish I knew this sooner. I wish I could have done this before in terms to a person who is just starting. Like for you, what do you think it would have been the best advice before starting into content creation?
I think kind of going along the idea of writing stories. I think the first place to ask, I'm going to cheat a little bit, break it up into two parts. One is like in terms of, I guess in terms of presentation, yeah, it matters, but I think probably before that is like, who is this made for? That's kind of what I ask myself nowadays when making something, rather than kind of like starting from the idea first, like, oh, this seems like a good idea for me, but then just thinking like, who is it made for? And like, did it resonate with people? and then just kind of thinking about that on the just on the regular, like is it a good idea, um, whatever the content is that I'm making, and then just kind of building it out from there. I'm going to be wrong most of the time, and maybe I'll hit right ideas more often, like a little bit more often each time. But am I just getting better at being less wrong about making a reasonably good idea? That's all that I can hope for, at least. That tells you a little bit about my creative process. But anyway, I guess
Yeah.
that's my tip.
No, that's awesome. Yeah, thank you for that.
A tip I would give either to my past self or people that's just starting. I'm gonna look at the camera for this one because I'm talking to you, just starting. Um, just do the damn thing. I know that's very cliche, but I've had regrets for years because I didn't start at 18 because I made the excuse of, oh, this person wasn't there for me. I didn't have the proper resources when I had the proper resources. Like I'm not really in the mood. Like it's not going my perfect way. Like people are not supporting me. And I felt like if I would have just done the damn thing at 18, I would have been rich and famous by now. At almost 28 right now. I know everything happens for a reason, but I do come across people that say, "Oh, it's hard for me to start, or it's hard for me to do things because every single time I ask people to do my videos, every single time I ask for money, every single time I ask for support, people aren't there for me." But I didn't really get this motion. I didn't really get this support until I actually started doing the damn thing. It took me about like a few months, if not a year, for people to realize like the imagination, the creative direction I was going in, and then that's when people started supporting me by either being in my videos for free or giving me free music or this, that, and the third. And then now it's just like ridiculous. Like people are willing to just like help me with anything and everything. And it's just like I'm super blessed right now, and I just felt like these blessings could have came a lot sooner if I just would have started earlier doing the damn thing. I officially started when I was 23, 24, but that's my biggest regret not starting at 18. But if you're like 18, if you're 16, even if you're like 30, 40 something years old, and if you feel like you don't get the proper support, you have to earn that support, and you have to just start the damn thing. And then soon people will realize the vision, and people will just support you just for you being you and you working hard. So start the damn thing.
Yeah, I completely agree that I started to read a book that is called Atomic Habits that I completely
Duhigg, right?
I think so.
Yeah, Charles Duhigg.
He's amazing. I have it in my bag right now. I 100 times recommend that book, not only for content creation, but in terms of like how to make your life more productive with your time, with your free time, and what you just said about like just doing it. I think everybody comes procrastinate in either some way or another, or put up some excuses that only yourself, are good enough to prevent yourself from doing them.
Or they just feel
If I
like
could-
discouraged, like in general. Like,
Exactly. Why am I doing this? Nobody's gonna watch it. Blah, blah, blah. Whatever the reason is.
I cannot count the number of times I went down the YouTube rabbit hole of like productivity tips or like or growth tips, and I'll just go down that rabbit hole and feel like I need to give myself permission to start on like on the next new project. It's like, what am I doing wrong? I gotta Google the next big thing. What is it? And it's just like, yeah, just do it.
Just do it. Yeah. Because as I was saying in this book, it says that the best way to start a new habit or the best way to create something for yourself is just with motion is how you start creating things. With motion, just by making the activity is how you start seeing the difference. Otherwise, inside of your mind, it's like you can imagine the worst scenario. People suffer more in their minds than they are actually alive. You know what I'm saying? So everything that is inside here, just try to turn it off for a second
Yeah.
and just fucking post it. Put it. It might work. It might not. So sometimes I put myself in the content that I do. Sometimes I have some ideas that I say, "Oh my god, this is not worth, this is not worth it. I feel like I could have done a better job." Suddenly, it has more views than all the videos that I did already. So it's like,
Oh, those are great.
why?
Yeah.
Why? What is happening
Yeah.
right now?
The opposit stinks, but like that, like the opposite. That's great. Yeah,
And
yeah.
then there are gonna be some times that you're gonna edit for you. In your case, that you edit like for hours, countless hours. There's a video that you put so much production into it, and suddenly 10 views, 15 views, 100 views, and you're expected to be like the fucking next, blow up thing in the internet, But it is what it is. There are many videos and studies about how the algorithm in a social media works, but it's most of it really is being
Made by people who don't actually work with the algorithm, by the way. Let's just say that. But
and it's just about really just do it, and little by little you're gonna grow,
yeah,
because for now, like every subscriber that you get, every like that you're gonna get, they're gonna, from one is gonna be then five, from five they're gonna turn to 10, and so on, so on, just like the same what happened in your event, you know. Very little people they were into in the beginning, and then suddenly you have boom 50 people that they came out to collaborate with each other. Something about growth, something about time, nobody knows, but it's just about being persistent and all the time, like just be waiting for the perfect moment that someone's gonna get.
something I'd love to figure out how we can. I mean, I feel like we have a nice little venue for like kind of fostering this type of thing, but um, how do you like kind of engineer like the collaborations? Like I feel like that's like some like just something tells me that that's like where like the real secret sauce is. It's like it's kind of like that old adage
Completely,
where it's like
completely.
what is it? It's you if you want to work fast, then you work alone. But if you want to go if you want to go far,
Yeah,
then you go
you will.
together. I'm butchering that quite quite terribly, but
It's grand, you know. It's just you just now that you have the key with
yeah,
you, it's just about doing it. That's what I'm telling you. I met you guys. I'm gonna put context. We met literally for 2 hours, and we had like very small talks. And then suddenly at the end of the event, I was like, guys, we should do something together. Literally,
here we are.
here we are. A month later, this is how we come up, and this fucking video is gonna be awesome. No, for the fact that it's gonna blow up, but just for the experience that we're having right now. You know, we are completely strangers who are meeting each other, and in the fucking future, we're gonna be fucking popular. You know, so it's just about coming together, collaborating, because otherwise, how you get not always doing it yourself, as you said, is gonna take you to the place that you want. You need support for sure.
Yeah, yeah, but the only other thing I wanted to say like 5 minutes ago while I was talking was no, but think about like all your famous like favorite content creators, like how big they got in this and the third. They put in the work, they put in the effort.
Yeah, yeah.
But a lot of the like the ones that are doing like really good, they started back in 2008, 2008. And sometimes you wish you could go back in time instead of you figuring out multiplication problems. You was on YouTube, right? But the fact of the matter is, if you start now, in 10 years you're gonna be that YouTuber, and people's
Exactly.
gonna be like, bro, like, why is that person getting all the love and all the money? And you have to tell them to shut the fuck up because you started now. You know what I'm talking about? So if you just started doing the damn thing, like and then once again, if you're consistent, and you'll get the support, and once you get the support, bro, just or girl, just keep at it. Just keep at it.
That's what I'm saying. People sometimes they have this stereotype that, oh, suddenly, I mean, it has happened that suddenly there's a amazing meme, there's an amazing small short
Yeah.
video, and suddenly blows up.
Yeah.
The algorithm works that way. Nobody knows, but the type of content that you want to create is what matters. For example, our content is completely different. It's not about instantaneously. It's about like grabbing people, attracting people to hear you, to listen to you, to admire the art. You know, that's the way of content creation that we do. Otherwise, if you go and clip other YouTubers or start monetizing that way, up to you. You know, you do your thing. But if you want to do what you love, and this is what it is, you know, it takes his risks. It takes his time. You know, Mr. Beast, he took it since 2013 to start doing what he's doing right now, and he's coming up. I'm doing free promotion right now, but he's coming up with one of the biggest like collaborating videos ever with the most famous people from Spain, from Latin America, from all over the world.
If we say Mr. Beast enough times, the video just blows up. That's how the algorithm works.
Mr. Beast, Mr. Beast.
Ah, no, not three times.
But anyways, guys, I really wanted to thank you for your time. I really think that this is a space that a lot of people who are getting into the business of this needs to hear, because there's a lot of people who are gonna reject them. There's gonna be a lot of moments where they're gonna reject themselves, and to make them feel understand, to make them feel that there's a place where they can go, it's gonna make things easier, at least a little, I think. And I really appreciate all the support, like the fact that you guys do monthly an event. It's wonderful. I think you guys should go and take it further. Your ideas are amazing, and I think it's just about putting a little more effort, and that's it. You know,
So at least we can hope for is have a place for everybody, and then just one step at a time.
One step at a time.
Yeah. I don't know any. That's my closing thoughts, I guess.
Anyways, guys, I completely appreciate you again. Have a wonderful day. Thank you very much for tuning in on another episode. You guys are awesome. I'm gonna shake your hands.
Thank you for having us. Thank you for having us.
Thank you, guys.
Yo.